Hey, welcome to another Becoming a Modern Man video. We're playing Blue-Red Delver once again, and we won the roll for this game, so let's get underway. Here is our opener. Our opponent leads off with a Leyline of Saxy, which is pretty unusual, also pretty awkward for our deck, seeing as though we're running a considerable amount of burn. Also, Detecting Probe is only going to allow us to look at our own hand, which not quite what that card's supposed to do. So we'll lead off with Serum Visions. We end up putting a Snapcaster on the top, and I think we've gotten something else, potentially a burn spell, seeing as that's less good now that the Leyline's out. Still not quite sure what our opponent's doing. I think there's a Suppression Field. Could have countered it, but I just don't think I care about it. I think Grim Lavamancer is the only thing that's really affected by that in the deck I can think of off the top of my head. Playing those Serum Visions, find a Vendilion Click, which is going to be pretty nice. I think we just going to beat down with the Snapcaster. I played the Snapcaster no value just because I wanted to get start the beat downs on our opponent. Doesn't look like he's running creatures. I think he's the mono white. Well, not quite mono white I suppose, but the mono white enchantment deck with the Sigil of the Empty Throne, etc. and Sphere of Safety, Ghostly Prison, etc. So just want to beat down as fast as possible. I can't click my opponent, so I'm going to have to click myself, and I just decided to try and throw away this lightning bolt, seeing as though it's not going to be particularly good. See if we can find something else. Snapcaster is pretty nice. Maybe we should have Snapcasted there, but I wanted to keep it Spell Pierce, which turns out to work out pretty nicely as we get a counter a Sigil of the Empty Throne, and our opponent just concedes. So, interesting deck for our opponent. We would have been able to stack for essentially 8 next turn. If Delver didn't flip, then slightly less, but yeah, I think we'd managed to wrap this one up. So, managed to win through there. Let's go on to game 2. Nope, I didn't take a mulligan. And this hand's quite decent. Very aggressive, which I like. We actually catch the Serum Visions decision. So, play Steam Vents, and so, oh no, we actually go for the Grim Lavamancer instead. Plays a Wall of Omens, which is not a card I was aware he was running. It's a little bit annoying for our creatures. So, Serum Visions, seeing an island and a Detecting Probe. End up top-topping because we quite like to have a third land, and Detecting Probe can draw us into that nicely. Also works well with Young Pyromancer. One plays Ghostly Prison, which is quite annoying. Obviously the Young Pyromancer is considerably less good when you can't just attack in with all your tokens. There's Scryline and the Ruined Halo, naming Grim Lavamancer. It's quite good in combination with the rest of the things. Obviously Grim Lavamancer is a bit of a threat because it can deal damage directly to him, and isn't affected at all by Ghostly Prison, so that's why he played that, which seems pretty clever. Keep it mana. Couldn't play Sphere of Safety. Very glad we had Mana Leak up there because that would have been pretty awful in combination with Ghostly Prison. Probably means we're not going to be doing much attacking. Unfortunately we don't flip the Delver here, but I'm just going to pass, leaving a Snapcaster Mana Leak. Obviously we can attack and then use the Grim Lavamancer to kill off this Wall of Omens, but I think we want to keep up Snapcaster Mana Leak at this moment in time. Which pays off really well as our opponent ends up trying to play another Sphere of Safety, and we managed to get that off the board and obviously make another token in the process. Not that the token is all that great right now. flip Delver off a spell pierce, and we're just going to attack him with that and pay for 2 mana. See, that's quite a nice threat. It gets over the Wall of Omens, deals 3 damage. Kill it, counter a skill of the Empty Throne with a spell pierce. Continue attacking for 3. Option I put finds Ruined Halo, which he's going to name it Insectile Aberration with. But we're just going to attack with our 2-power guy now. I'm going to have to kill off this Wall of Omens first, but that seems fine. Then sticks a Sigil, but or Sigil, I suppose, might be how you say that. But doesn't have anything else in his hand to follow that up with. I'm just going to attack for 4 here before I dropping angels onto us. Obviously, because my opponent doesn't have Leyline out, Bolt is still very good, and any of our burn spells still pretty nice. Pardon me. Our opponent plays in Bolivian Ring, taking out a Young Pyromancer, which is fun. We attack with Snapcaster, and then finish off this angel with a Grim Lavamancer activation, and play out another Pyromancer. Attack with 2 of my guys, get him for 3, and put him down to 7. Just want to get in as much damage as possible, put him in within burn range, ideally. So, Serum Visions, drop in both those cards, seems though they're counter spells that probably aren't going to be very good now. Attack with 2 tokens, going to put my opponent to 6. We've got Bolt and Snapcaster, so Bolt, Snapcaster, Bolt will finish our opponent off nicely. There's Blood Moon, which is fairly inconsequential against our deck. And Bolt, Snapcaster, Bolt will. So yeah, pretty interesting deck from our opponent. I've been thinking about trying to try this little deck out, because it is quite a fun one, quite an interesting one. Obviously the main weakness of the deck seems to be that there's quite a lot of 5-drops, which is a little awkward, but the stall tactics of the deck are quite good. So yeah, I'm probably going to give this deck a try at some point, but managed to win through here. Seems like our deck's quite well set up, just because we can out-tempo them for the most part, but Ghostly Prison is quite a nuisance, and Leylander's Sanctity, that in combination are both pretty awkward cards for our deck, so an interesting matchup.